What's up? I'm back. In this segment, I'm going to talk about alkalinity and unprocessed foods. In the holistic community, a lot of people get into, alkalinity versus acid. And I know because I've made videos on it. And, it's one of those things that the holistic community, sometimes the vegan community, has really, and I think rightfully so, informed people that they should be in a more alkaline state. Because even if somebody says you gotta be 7.5 and higher, that's more obviously that's a more alkaline state than acid state. So I think it's correct when the holistic community, the vegan community, alternative health community say that you're supposed to be in an alkaline state, and a lot of illnesses can be reversed just putting your body in an alkaline um, state of being. The problem comes in is when those communities forget that most people are sick. So because most people are sick, because most people have been eating meat, and because most people have been eating many starches, sugars, taking drugs, alcohol, smoking, practicing lifestyles that are anti nature, they then have to become extreme to balance themselves. But I think what the holistic community has forgotten is that once you're balanced, right? Once you kind of you practice the alkaline lifestyle for a while, and you stay away from the meats, the starches, even try to eat most of your foods raw instead of cooked. Or if you make it cooked, make sure it's more steamed and fried. Once you get past that, then you can go back to being really balanced. And when you go back to being really balanced, it means that everything has its place. I'm actually making this video because somebody actually wrote me 3 days ago and they asked me what is worse, a hamburger and a carrot, or versus a carrot. I thought it was a joke, So actually, no, they might have wrote me 3 months ago. I responded 3 days ago, and then I had an exchange with the person, and the person was serious. And I was like, and he actually said, well, in your videos, you said, you gotta be alkaline, and you were kind of dissing carrots. From what I remember in my video, I said there's probably better foods than carrots, but I'm not as extreme when it comes to carrots as most people are. But then the conversation kind of sparked me because I realized, wow, I think people don't understand what this is. A carrot is not cyanide. Like it's become crazy now where you have people now who ask that because in their minds a carrot is the same as cyanide. And I'm realizing now that I had to make this video because the most important thing people have to understand is really you're supposed to be paying attention to processed food versus unprocessed food. If you pay attention to it like that, you're gonna be eating mostly alkaline foods anyway. But the reason why paying attention to processed food versus unprocessed food is better because for me, I come from the mindset that says I don't tell people they shouldn't eat meat. I tell people they should control their meat intake. I tell people they should probably only eat meat during the winter months. Spring, summer, and probably fall, there's no need to be eating meat. So somebody from holistic community hears that and they say I'm advocating eating meat, and then they would dismiss me just because I said eat meat one season a year. But they're not understanding that when you look at it, you could talk about genetics, racial genetics. If you want to talk about racial genetics, you could talk about blood type, you could talk about all those things. But environment does affect food as well. Should it be the primary effect? No. Your genetics should be the primary effect, yes. But we live in a world where people are working 40 hours a week, 50 hours a week, 60 hours a week. People have stress. We're not in our natural environments where we could just pick a fruit off a tree and just eat it. At times, some people do need extra substance to keep them more sane. Because what people don't really realize is occasional meat, not much. Because again, this is why I always say people get into extremities. Because if I asked anybody in the Matrix and I said, I eat meat only once in the wintertime, like basically during the winter months, and I don't even eat it every day. It might be like once or twice a week during the winter months. The Matrix person would say, SK, you're a vegetarian. They wouldn't even be like, trust me, because 80% of the time, they say, you want some chicken? No. You want some beef? No. They'd be like, you're a vegetarian. But the holistic community, because they become a religion, would say, "Oh my God, you can't listen to anything he says because he says eat meat once during the cold months," and that's from unbalanced mindset. And this is why many people are going into those diets. Do you see them stronger? Do you see them smarter? In fact, I actually look at them and a lot of people are degenerating because people are pushing imbalancement for health. Health is always about balance. Health is about the mind, the body, and the spirit being balanced together. Straight up. That's all health is about. It's not about your religious beliefs or whatever makes you feel comfortable. It's about balance. The reason why people gotta go alkaline first, because we live in a society where we overly acid. We drink coffee, we drink soda. I mean, soda I think is like 2.3%, 2.3 alkaline. I don't even remember, but it's real low. And yet that's the primary stuff we're taking. So then we have to go extreme to balance that. But once we get back to a balanced state, then it's open season. Not saying you should eat anything, but everything has a place and a time. Soda doesn't have a place? Probably not, because totally not natural. To be honest, like I'm not gonna lie, some things. Sorry to tell you, drugs, heroin, crack. No, that doesn't really. They're unnatural, totally. So I'm not gonna say, well, you get healthy, then start do that. No, but a lot of things do have a place. You could say you could have the meat versus vegetarian debates all you want. When you look at animals that are vegetarian, they got two stomachs. We don't. Our stomachs are not designed like that. We're kind of like more like omnivores, like a rat. A rat can. I mean, as much as people say rats and pigs are nasty, you could actually feed a rat and pig vegetables, and they'll eat it. And if you have a pig farm and that's all you feed them, that's all they'll eat. Unless you talk about their shit, right? Try doing that to a dog and cat. I got a dog and cat. Dog once in a while might eat some vegetables, but nah, she eating meat. The cat definitely ain't gonna eat no vegetables. What does that mean? They're carnivores. We can eat both. The primary material we're supposed to be eating is vegetables. If you hate meat, don't eat it. But the whole thing is, understand that acidity is needed at times. The body has certain functions, it has to be acid. That's the thing that people don't really realize. Even when you take, the little alkaline piss test and stuff like that, when you pee on that and it's telling you your state, it's telling you state of your urine, but your state of your blood is going to be a little bit higher, meaning that the urine is telling you what the blood was a few hours ago. That's the difference. Why? Because the body in itself, it functions on different levels. Sometimes your saliva has to be acid to digest food. Break certain foods down. Sometimes your urine's gonna be acid because you're breaking up materials of garbage. If you were in an alkaline state 100% of the time, which I know people are gonna say it's impossible during this time period to be alkaline 100% of the time, yes, but you could be 8.0, 8.5, and that's too high. The whole point is balance is the key. The reason why I like to push people on processed foods versus unprocessed foods, because if somebody tells me should they eat salami or pastrami, I'm like, nah, that's processed, that's unprocessed, not even real. You shouldn't eat that. Somebody tells me, should I eat organic turkey for Thanksgiving with my family, or should I stand out in my family and say no in front of everybody? You could say that. People don't like Thanksgiving for political reasons. You could mention that maybe, but at times you could say, you know what, let me eat some turkey. It's organic, cool. Once a year, I'm done. You want? You could do a detox and you finish after that. It comes out 6, 7 days later. Cool. We make things complicated when they don't need to be complicated. And when you say processed versus unprocessed, it's much better, because what's going to happen is it gets your mind trained for how the body really works. Because I can guarantee you this: the people who tell you you're only supposed to eat one type of food are looking at the body from a one-dimensional way. Your human body is a multi-dimensional vehicle, literally. Meditation is just as important as food. They go along with each other. The more chakras you got unblocked, or blocked, I should say, the less you can digest food. That's the reality of it. Science will catch up to that. That's truth. So when you're addressing health, you have to address all three principles. So anybody telling you to eat one element out of five doesn't really understand the body, or they're looking at it from a material standpoint, which is the difference. That's why in the old days, the priests would be vegetarians, or they'll go through vegetarian period when they were making either elixirs, medicines, they're doing certain type of spiritual work. That's when they would do it. You go to Asia, you see the monks, eating vegetable, being vegetarian. You on the streets of Bangkok, streets of Tokyo, you could be vegetarian too, but it's much harder. And even then, you could get away with it because their culture is less stressful than our culture. Try being a vegetarian on the streets of Chicago. Possible, yes. Why put yourself through all that stress when you could just be balanced and live a much cleaner life? Till next time, peace.